All right. I think we've given folks plenty of time to wander on in here.
I
If you
would
want to
agree.
try to reach out and grab somebody else and pull them in, feel free to do so. But I say we go ahead and call the monthly meeting to order. So this is the general meeting, club meeting for Pixels and Dice Lions Club for October 5th, 2023. And let's get going. Let's get going. All
Ooh.
right. So, Robin, you actually posted a nice not final agenda, and I think we'll pretty much follow that. That was in the board channel, but I think we'll touch on that as we go along here. So,
It's
um,
in the event description as well, if you want to
oh, is
have a
it
read.
great? Perfect. So, yeah. Open discussion about the Lions mission and our goals as a club. So, in general, and the when it comes down to it, the mission of the Lions is summed up quite nicely in the motto, which is "We serve." And so, our goals as a club, we have stated that um, we want to take on uh, mental health awareness uh, and related issues. So, uh, I think that kind of we haven't picked any beneficiaries of the club yet, and we do have a committee forming for that to help identify beneficiaries of our efforts, and uh, that kind of takes us straight into the the committees for the club. So we're still trying to find our feet. We're footing, um, and we're trying to form committees to help us identify the directions that we want to go in. So Lindsay was kind enough to go ahead and create some committee channels for us. If you look down in the Discord, you'll see 4 different committees. If you're interested in any of these, I'm sorry, I guess there's only 3 right now. But if you're interested in any of these, um, please go ahead and make a post in that channel, at least to get the conversation started, and try to find out if that's a committee that you'd like to be on. So we have the benefactors identified, and that goes hand in hand with um, uh, I guess the beneficiaries of of our of our club. Who's going to receive funds that we raise, and then we have the convention committee, which will be that'll be for helping to coordinate club efforts at conventions, um, determining our presence there and what capacity that's going to be, and working with the various conventions. Hopefully we
Um,
can leverage conventions to help raise awareness. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, make sure you know, I'll help, nominally on that committee. I definitely shouldn't be the leader. It ought to be
Yeah,
a,
no, no, no.
uh, non-affiliate member, but I will help in any way that I can. And of course, I'm going to tons of different conventions all the time right now, so definitely can help. Both from a experience standpoint and from a um, you know knowing lionism and knowing how we may best take advantage of those types of events. So
In
Yep.
honor of Bart, I'm gonna twist your tail. Forget not being a main member here. You don't have the time to lead that committee, sir. You need to not lead something else right now. But
fair enough.
of course, we like your help is incredibly important, especially considering how many you've been to recently. And your foot in the door with Gary Con, our foot in the door with Gary Con. But all that is going to be incredibly important. And I do want to re-emphasize, because this was something that John Obadiah brought up at one point when we were first discussing the conventions committee, it will be for both virtual and physical. So it is going to be a combination. There may at one point, it may be better to split into a subcommittee, but that's something when the committee is formed and as things start rolling, that's going to be a trial and error thing for them to decide later on. I just wanted to say that really quickly.
Yeah. And what's the last one, Chris?
Esports, and this would be our this would be the club's presence at esports events, whether or not they're organized by somebody else or us. I would love to see our club organizing some. And when it comes to esports, it's not just esports in the conventional sense. We're really talking about any online video gaming. So yeah, it's that should be a real fun one. I know that we have some people here that are really interested in that, myself included.
Let's just update the name a little bit to be a little bit more inclusive than just esports, but as long as it doesn't have any of those stupid Valorant players.
Heard? Hey now, listen here. Dylan's not even listening. Well, that makes it even better. But it's go ahead.
Forgive me for a second. Where are these committees posted?
So if
They're
you
not-
look, it's a
Oh, they're not?
category on the left-hand side. It's a category that says committees. You should be able to see it. There's a channel for the committee information, and then you have the channel.
Any of the committees, I believe the committee section doesn't show up, and you're not automatically added to them.
Yeah, you're not.
I can't see them.
Chris.
What you want to do
now
is,
I do.
Yeah,
It
what
just
you want
popped
to do
up.
is at the top of the Discord, there is like this drop-down menu that you can open, and
Mhm.
in there it will have a thing that has show all channels. You can either use that, which I will not recommend because it will show you all channels. You can alternatively click on channels and roles, which should be right below events, also at the very top on the Discord right here. And then you will be able to click on browse channels on the top. Like there's two tabs, customize and browse channels. And then you will be able to follow channels or whole categories. By default, Discord makes it so that you are unsubscribed to these channels because Discord is very friendly and doesn't want to annoy you with stuff. So
Right.
you need to manually follow these channels to actually have them show up in your feed.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Good run through. So all these descriptions are going to be put in the committee information channel. That's why it's separate. That'll be for like people just to basically say, okay, these are what the committees are about, so they can get a quick overview of each one without having to dig in the other channels. I was going to type those up, or one of us, board members or whoever, maybe the committee head, will write a little description about what each committee does. I know that we talked about.
I coughed.
Oh. Rude. So I know we talked about calling it something other than the esports committee. Do we just want to say esports and gaming? Because I wanted it to be quick and easy to say. That's why esports was the first thing that came to mind. Was easy enough to say just esports because it's video games. As well as other types of virtual gamings. Yeah, we could put digital games committee. What does everybody think?
I'm refraining from making any comments that might, permanently go on record since we're being recorded.
Okay, Mr. Roboto. Little Snow, you're one of the other ones who would probably be a really big help for this one. So, do you have an opinion whether you think it should be esports versus like digital gaming?
I do think digital gaming works pretty
Okay.
well.
Okay. and it's still quick enough off the tongue that it should be easy enough. So we'll put forth both. Instead of calling it esports, we'll call it the Digital Gaming Committee. I put forth the
Yay.
vote.
Agreed.
All right.
Also,
All right.
another note very quick, because we have like a couple of channels, you can right click channels and there is an option to favorite them, which will put them on the very top of the channel list. You can do that with text and voice channels. So you can bring those channels that are very relevant to you at the very top. So you don't need to search every time. You should probably
you,
make
Robin.
like a quick visual guide for everyone.
We can do
is
that,
not
yeah.
Too familiar with Discord.
Yeah, we could definitely do that at some point, especially considering we're trying to hit a very wide audience of people, and we'll have some new people rolling in who aren't necessarily familiar with Discord in the same way. So we can definitely make a visual guide at some point. One of us can work on it. One of the admins.
All right. So while we're talking about those committees, are we going to create a fundraising committee?
We should. That's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, we all might have a different opinion of what that would cover, but to me, that kind of means like, how do we bring funds in to the club?
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
That would basically, yeah, it'd basically be a committee focused on how to bring funds in, while the
Okay.
benefactors is where do we send, who is going to
Right.
benefit from these funds.
Right. So input and output.
Exactly.
All right.
We
That
And
works.
I guess,
also-
yeah, and I guess anybody could pitch an idea in terms of maybe other things that you've heard of fundraisers, that as long as it deals with, obviously it deals with mental health and charity and gaming.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
we
I look at some stuff from a group, and they have a great website too. It's called Take This, and essentially it's mental health through gaming kind of thing. So they have all kinds of great ideas, and the people over there are really nice. And they offer trainings and all kinds of things that might be helpful to us.
Okay.
So just a thought of someplace just to start off.
Yeah, that's definitely something
Yeah.
good to keep in mind. Robin, what were you
And-
saying?
I was mentioning that we did want a media committee that takes
Yeah.
care of our, well, I guess, first of all, the assets that we would want to distribute and also social media stuff, I guess.
Yeah, that was something we brought up. I think we needed to decide, especially if it was going to be talking about making the Discord admins separate from this media committee. I think was something we needed to talk about. But yeah, that was definitely a committee that we were going to also talk about. Dad, what were you saying?
I was going back to the fundraising committee.
Okay.
One of the things that I kind of set up before we started the club was, I guess I'd reached out to Luke and a few other VIPs from GaryCon who
Mhm.
all said that they would, potentially, as long as the timing worked out and everything else, that they would, be willing to, donate their time, a game, sit in a game, and we could, auction off seats at a game, with Luke or,
Yeah.
with Margaret Weiss or whomever, right?
Right.
And
Oh, a game
so
with Ed would be so fun.
my point though is that I talked to them about this about 9 months ago.
Yeah.
And we don't want too much time to go by without doing it. But also, more importantly, I think we don't want too much time to go by without giving them an update on kind of where we're going. So I think it's important that that we pay attention to this and somebody, take it on and kind of organize, hey, what are we going to do when, to start raising funds. So.
Yeah, some kind of kickoff event.
Yes, that would be a very good idea.
That it is.
Let's see. And as everybody gets interested in whichever committee, like Chris was saying, just pop a, um, just say something in that channel and say, "Hey, I'm interested in being a part of this committee." What I'll do, I think, to make it easy for everybody, is I will make a role for each committee. For those of you who aren't familiar with Discord, we all have roles. There are all certain um, categories, but I will make like a benefactors committee role and a role for each committee. So if you're trying to only address those in the committee, you can just use that @ to be able to quickly get everybody's attention, to be able to ping everybody. I guess we should put forward a vote for the uh or not benefactors, fundraising and media committees. So
Yes, agreed.
Very important.
yeah, both of those are going to be pretty essential, I think. I think media will have to be kind of tuned into, well, we might have to really narrow down exactly what that's going to look like. But I can be a part of that one as well. We also, at some point, will need to determine committee chairs for each committee.
That will
So
be in the next 2 weeks.
yeah, preferably that would be great. We could ping people. I would love. Okay, for the digital gaming committee. I know myself, Dylan, and Little Snow, as well as a couple others, are very big on obviously playing video games, amongst other things. So, if you guys will keep in mind, think about maybe if one of you wants to take on the role of the committee chair. I should not, even though I want to. Probably not a good idea. I should not take another one, and I trust you guys wholeheartedly. I know you guys would any one of you would do very, very well. But just keep that in mind, and we'll talk. We don't have to make decisions about committee chairs right now, but preferably within the next couple weeks, we should have it at least narrowed down to people who are interested, so we can bring it up as a vote.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Cool.
Is there a way to kind of break down or demonstrate, maybe some the time commitment required for the chair, just so people have an idea?
Yeah, that's definitely something we can do. Dad, that might be something best suited for me and you to talk about offline, so I can give everybody a write-up, like properly, to actually show what kind of commitments, and we can give those who aren't present a chance at being one of the chairs, and I can send that out to everybody, against the club documentation, so that everybody will get an idea of, okay, this is what it actually looks like to run this committee, based on what we're seeing in the Alpharetta side of things. I know the Alpharetta Club's been a little busy lately, but I can talk to both of my parents as well as a couple of the other members like Rob and Mary, and get a good idea for what these commitments do look like from a more practical, like, okay, what are we actually putting into this? How much time is this actually going to take for somebody to sit down and do every month?
I just think it'd be easier to get a commitment from someone if they kind of know the obligation up front.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like,
100%.
Going into it, I would love to be the chair for one of the committees. I just, for
Yeah.
the next couple months, I know I can't. Starting January, hey, not a problem. It's just,
Yeah.
so I'm just trying to figure out what what that would look like, right?
I understand. Yeah, that totally makes sense, and I will definitely that can be something that I will write up separately, because I would rather have as much information as possible and than snowballing and guessing. I want to give you guys accurate representations of what to expect. So I do want to talk to both my parents, who I believe are currently out and on their way home. So it should be tonight, hopefully, that I get that out to you guys just after. Like it might just be right after the meeting. So.
And maybe we can share the load as well. Like maybe bring it
Mhm.
up at the board meeting so we could get some, or maybe volunteer some people.
Well, yeah, right. Oh, hi, Nugget. Hello, buddy.
Well, I will say one of the nice things about being a committee chair is that, as with any other type of chair position, typically the amount of time that you have to dedicate to it depends on how good you are at delegating tasks to your
Yeah,
fellow committee members.
yeah. The voluntold goes a long ways.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been chair for several types of positions in volunteer organizations, and there have been times when I have been extremely busy because of it, and there are other times when I've done it right where it's just it's been a breeze. I basically show up to kind of provide some guidance if needed, but mainly just to get reports on what the others in the committee have been able to accomplish. Kind of glue it all together. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, realistically, if I'm being totally honest, just looking at all the committees and all the ideas we have, I think the two that are going to be the most time consuming, and not necessarily for the chair, I just mean in general, and even then, time consuming could really just look like 2 hours a week. It really depends on how efficient you are and how available people are for you. If are you getting time across to talk to these people. The two that are going to be the most high maintenance, relatively speaking, are probably going to be the benefactors and the fundraising. And
Yeah.
even then, they're still probably not going to take as much time and can be partially talked about in main club meetings as well. So it really is hit or miss, and it very dependent on how efficiently and how somebody works to get this stuff done.
All right.
That's-
Let's see. You know what? Unless anybody has anything else they'd like to toss in real quick, I think we can go ahead and skip ahead to the social events and Discord.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, social events. Well, we don't have anybody. We don't have a committee actively organizing those right now. So, what I'm going to do, and I believe I mentioned it last month, I'm finally starting to see some time free up on my schedule. So, I'm going to go ahead and organize an online poker game. So we'll play this in Discord. There will be a link that I share, and we get a shared table that we can play at. We'll decide before we start playing how much money we want to ante in, and by money, I mean this is completely virtual money. There's no real money exchanging hands here. It's just for bragging rights. I found a site that offers some free tables. So the at least with the Alpharetta Lions Club, the tradition of playing poker is a very deeply ingrained tradition in
Very, very deeply ingrained.
in what we do. It's it's just a fun way for people to get together, give each other a hard time, all in good spirits, basically we're not playing for bread money or anything, so it's just for fun. So I will go ahead and create an event for that, and hopefully we can get some folks joining in. to play. I would love to have a full table.
Oh yeah.
Or better yet, even multiple tables. So
Oh, that would be awesome.
it would be. It would be. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I may rope in a couple of you just to test out this this site a little more thoroughly, make sure that it works for us. And if it does, then yay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's it. I'm going to do that. And if there's anything else anybody would like to organize social, from a social perspective, please, feel free to do that. If you want to host a game of any sort, whether it be poker or Dungeons and Dragons, or you just want to get some people together to play Destiny 2 or Baldur's Gate or whatever the case may be. I play a lot of Battlefield, at least I used to.
Yeah,
start playing again. Let's create an event for it and get some people playing together and having some fun.
Yeah, I'll be hopefully more often now. I want to start streaming actually some Valorant, some CS:GO too, now that it's come out, and a couple other games as well as the games I'll be running for D&D. So anybody's always welcome to join me, and that's going to be something that hopefully part of the fundraising side, a chip of that can go, like a chip of any proceeds go to the club and whatnot as soon as we have the benefactors committee set up and I can start putting together some graphics to advertise just who we are, who we're supporting, what we do, stuff like that. But we definitely, I definitely want to start getting some good social stuff going and some good advertisement for the club and raising awareness. Ow.
All right. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all I had on my agenda. Was there anything that that folks wanted to talk about? I know I asked just a few minutes ago if anybody had anything else, but I like to ask. I'm always hoping.
I guess Kathy and I are gonna work on getting the bank account set up. So the two of us will be meeting up at some point, and that's something else we'll discuss with the board just to let them know what we're doing and how we're doing it. Just to let everybody know that that's happening. We'll work on getting, after we get the bank account, get everything set up, and have the club once the club is officially registered and whatnot, we'll hopefully have everything all set up and have emails, and I can work on redo the write-up so that the club email is there and whatnot. So we got
Yeah,
some of that official stuff going.
Can we try to get the bank account set up before the next board meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's definitely doable. Kathy and I just need to find a time where we can just go to Chase or something like that. So
All right.
that's all that it'll take.
Okay.
Because I believe it'll be for now. I think Kathy and I on the account. Since Chris, you can't be there in person to put your name on the account. If we need a third and that would make people more comfortable, we can put Bart on it as well. He is local. So the three of us could be on the account. That whatever's best for everybody else. So. But that will be done soon, within the next week, I hope. So
Okay. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, I tell you what. If anybody doesn't have anything else they'd like to add, I think what we'll do is go ahead and bring this meeting to a close. And I'll stop recording. If anybody wants to just hang around and keep chatting, I'll be in Discord for a few minutes, and we'd be happy to chat with anybody that would like to chat. All right. So anything else? Going once? Going twice? All right. I am calling this meeting closed.
perfect.
We are closed.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.